aka I Eat Zebra, and welcome to my channel. I recently finished reading the Hunger Games prequel novel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins, and I absolutely loved the book. I loved getting Coriolanus Snow's perspective and diving deeper into his character. Throughout the entirety of the series, we see him grow from an orphan child left destitute by the war to the wealthy, warmongering President Snow of Panem that we meet in the Hunger Games trilogy. Snow had many relationships throughout his 84 years of life. The one that intrigues me the most is the relationship he had with his cousin Tigris, and what exactly went wrong that they ended up on opposing sides of the same war. Just a heads up, there are going to be spoilers from here on out for the Hunger Games trilogy, as well as the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So let's get to it. Tigris and Coryo are cousins that were both orphaned during the war referred to as the Dark Days. They currently live in the Snow penthouse apartment in the Corso neighborhood of the capital with their grandmother, the Grandmam. The Snow family stems from old money, and most of their fortune comes from weapons and munitions manufacturing in District 13. Those familiar with the fate of District 13 probably can figure out what happens next. The family goes broke as the entire surface level of District 13 was destroyed during the war. With their factories destroyed and the family legacy being left with just an elderly woman and 2 children, times were tough for the Snows. They often went without and had very little food to eat or clothing to wear. Tigris, however, stepped up at the age of 8 and took care of her grandmother and cousin, despite the fact that she was still a child herself. Tigris and Coryo, a nickname she gave him, by the way, are more than cousins. They're like brother and sister. Coryo owes his life to Tigris. She was his primary provider and caretaker after his parents died, and his true confidant. They confided in one another and did what they could to protect each other because they were all they had left. Tigris was Coryo's hope and innocence, always reminding him that snow lands on top whenever he is discouraged. She sees the good in people and is sympathetic to others' struggles. Teaching Coryo how to be more sympathetic to others' plights, well, at least how to appear that he cares for other people. Coryo feels she is vulnerable and doesn't like that people take advantage of her kindness. However, he appreciates that she is herself in that way. Tigris sacrifices so much for Coryo and his future because she, like her grandmother, knows that he is the best chance they have at getting their old lives back. Tigris decides to skip university to go into fashion as a means to provide for her family and the fact they cannot afford to send her to university. She works as an apprentice to a fashion designer, Fabricia Whatnot, but it is practically slave labor. There are times that it is alluded to that Tigris may have also resorted to prostitution as a means to survive for their family. So how do these 2 cousins that grew up together and love each other go to hate each other? Well, I think it has to do with a murder. I believe what drives Tigris and Coryo apart is Coryo killing Ma Plinth. Ma Plinth, her husband Strabo, and their son Sejanus are originally from District 2. Strabo Plinth was a direct competitor to the Snow family with arms and munitions manufacturing in District 2. Once District 13 was destroyed, the Plinth family got all of the Snow's old business, thus becoming exceedingly wealthy. They were able to afford to move to the capital. Sejanus was Coryo's classmate, and they had a weird relationship. Coryo was rather indifferent to Sejanus, but Sejanus felt as though Coryo was more than a best friend to him, but a brother. Sejanus, however, took things too far and plotted an act of treason, and Coryo ratted him out due to not wanting to also be seen as a traitor. Sejanus is executed and thus leaving his parents without an heir. The Plinths are unaware of Coryo's role in Sejanus' demise and are still under the impression that they were best friends. The Plinths decide to name Coryo their heir and bankroll Coryo Tigris in the Grandmam's lifestyle and live with them in the Snow's penthouse. Ma Plinth is mockingly referred to as Grandmam's new maid. Tigris adores her and appreciates the fact that she provided them with food several times and helped them keep their family home. Tigris is very appreciative of the Plinths and values their generosity. Coryo respects Strabo, even though he still looks down upon them as being from the districts originally. He cares more so for Strabo than Ma, due to Strabo assimilating more into the capital lifestyle. He appreciates her cooking, most certainly, and her kindness, but he thinks she is weak and beneath him. Despite the Plinths providing them with so much, Coryo, much like his grandmother, still thinks the Plinths are scum due to their district origins. Tigris, on the other hand, is the opposite and sees their humanity. Tigris and Coryo were changed by the war and Hunger Games, but in different ways. Tigris developed more understanding and empathy for others. She found the games to be appalling and the people involved to be sadistic. Coryo, on the other hand, clung to his views on supremacy and had them amplified as he gained more power. He helped shape the games into what they are in the future as this popular form of entertainment. At their core, they are fundamentally different people, and it was bound to happen that they would eventually be driven apart. Tigris knew many of Coryo's dirty secrets and at times helped him rationalize excuses for certain behavior, wanting to see the good in him. I think Coryo is going to go full dark side when he kills Ma Plinth, and Tigris will not find it in her heart to let this one go. I believe Strabo will eventually die of natural causes at no fault of Coryo's, as he does admire him to an extent. He knows that without any other heirs, the entire Plinth fortune is his. I think that the condition of his inheritance will be after the death of both of the Plinths. Ma would then outlive Strabo, and I believe in her despair and lack of knowledge of the business will start to squander a lot of their fortune. Coryo, not wanting her to blow away all his inheritance, will kill her in order to secure their future. When Tigris finds out he is behind her death, she will not support him and will consider this to be him crossing the ultimate line. Ma provided for them when they were in need, and he returns that by killing her just to take her money. Ma has a tendency to be frivolous, and in her grief, I would not be surprised if she started overspending or ignoring the business altogether. This would in turn frustrate Coryo, and he would treat her as a threat that needs to be eliminated. I think he finds a way to poison her, which is his typical weapon of choice. Tigris discovers the truth of her death, and she finally severs ties with Coryo, viewing him as someone beyond redemption. He is being groomed to be as sadistic as Dr. Gale, and he is no longer the little boy she sacrificed so much for. When the Ballad of Songbirds Snakes was first announced, they said it is being released with a movie deal. I would imagine now that we are a year out from the book's initial release, the film will be moving into production soon. I would imagine the film will be released between 2022 to 2023. Hopefully, with the success of the film, Suzanne will get the green light and develop further books detailing the early events of Snow's life and rise to power. What do you think will be the cause of the ultimate rift between Coryo and Tigris? Leave your theories in the comments below. Do not forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell for any other future videos. See you next time. Bye!